Whoa! Got a little L. Youngstrom MX dude ski made a track here. What is the name of this track? I can't even remember. Grip it, rip it, ride it, swerve. I don't know exactly, but holy, jump right out of the gate, boys. So, okay. So I wanted to start kind of taking these reviews a little bit to the next level. I think it's about time I start doing this. So I really want to start, like, actually rating these on 5 different categories. Okay, we'll go ahead and take off, do a little first lap action. Yeet! That's cool. This is real unique. So this is one of those tracks, obviously catches your attention by seeing it on the, on the Dark Slides website and stuff like that. This is one of those like, whoa, okay, yeah, probably need to download that one. Definitely got that eye candy factor going on, right? And I know quite a few people's already made reviews and whatnot of this. Oh my god. This is like a legit, I thought this was just a standard motocross track, but apparently it's a little more insane than that. Okay, that's some unique shit for sure. Wow, this got it going on right here. But yeah, I know I'm a little late to the party here, but with doing this review on this track, but I thought it was still worth it for sure. Actual double. I slid a little. Woo! Did a little Superman action on the landing, but like I said, I want to start taking these reviews to another level with doing, and I've talked about doing this before, and a lot of people, holy nut, this is, wow, dude, ooh, wall, felt like I was playing Doom for a second, the way those walls were, yeah, so, let's see, this track, you gotta pay attention to what the hell you're doing, because you have no idea what's going to come up next, dog. Could be a fucking tunnel, could be a 300-foot wall, like, there's no, like, kind of reading the track any, right? These are some cool sections right here. This would have been a cool motocross track had it just been, like, where these normal motocross sections are, but it's cool, though. I like seeing these cool little tracks where they add something different and put some cool objects and different stuff you're kind of jumping over and whatnot. Yeah, this is just like a fun track all the way around. Just a fun track, right? Just a cool, unique, interesting, different. Oh, what a corner, dog. I love the traction on this, too. What the hell? I feel like I'm actually, like, getting up to proper speed on this track. Like, this is solid right here, dude. But, yeah, I had talked about kind of taking my reviews. I always just give these reviews like a overall rating at the end, that I'll give it like a difficulty level, easy, medium, hard Pastrana, right? And then I rate it like 1 to 10 overall, but I think it's time for me to start getting a little deeper with these reviews and really starting to take a look at what some of these track makers are saying about their tracks, and I think I can do a lot more than what I have been doing previously. And a couple people's kind of recommended if I would ever go in here and rate it on like environment, give it like a 1 out of 10 on the environment, then give it like a 1 out of 10. I kind of thought of 5 different sort of categories I can rate this shit off of. So 1 being environment, right? 2 being fun factor, 3 being skill gap, 4 being on track, 5 being like overall rating. I think I can definitely go in here and start kind of expanding this more than just hey, this track's an 8 out of 10. Yeah, dog. Like, I think I can start kind of uniqueness. That's definitely something I could give a rating on. This is 10 out of 10 uniqueness right here, dog. I can tell you that right off the bat. That is the biggest thing to this track. Like, you've never seen something like this in this game before. So, have I even done a lap yet? Holy shit. This track is just going on forever, bro. This is really cool. Like, dude, some of you guys think I'm just like rant boy, mad at the world. You can never make a good track. Like, dog, this is awesome right here. Like, when somebody makes cool shit like this, I will come out here and say it, man. He's got like freestyle jump elements put into it. A lot of custom, bigger objects that you usually see on the off track of a lot of these reflex tracks, but he's been able to kind of integrate it. He's got like split lane sections. He's got split jump lane sections where you're, oh my god, dude, look at this shit. This is too cool. Oh, exploded. Feel like I'm playing MXGP Pro. So that's, yeah, he's got this one jump section over here I was wanting to show. Damn. Hitting some braking bumps. It's almost got like a trail vibe element, you know, those kind of free ridey vibe elements. You've got this where you can either jump up to here or you can go underneath this, so it's almost like a split jump lane, you know what I mean? Like up and down split lane, which you like never see ever on these tracks. So that's really cool. Nice scrub jumps right there. Just a fun shit, dog. Just fun track all the way around. Nice ruts coming through here. It's a well-designed track too, right? Not just in the, uniqueness and whatever. The on-track itself, I'd probably give this shit like a, I don't know, man. I mean, it's solid. Like 9 out of 10 or something. I can't really complain too much on the on-track. Very unique section right there going through the tunnels. Too bad you can't really make tunnels on MX Simulator. I mean, you can with objects, but you can't really make like terrain tunnels. You understand what I'm saying? These ruts are badass, though. These pre-made ruts, pre-made roughness, pre-made braking bumps, pre-made rollers, pre-made kickers on jump faces. This is shit you gotta have, man. I don't care if this is a Reflex track or an MX Simulator track or a... Literally, like, this game is known for having the most amazing terrain deformation in any motocross game. And still, look at all these tracks that we consider to be amazing in Reflex, right? It's all the ones that have all the pre-made on them. Like the really well-built pre-made multiple rut lines in the corners. The well-built pre-made roughness, braking bumps, acceleration bumps, unique little kickers on certain jump faces, all pre-made, right? Like the Zafar track, or am I even saying that right? Shit, I'm trying to remember the names of all the tracks. There's a lot of them out there, though. Zafar, that doesn't even sound right. I think I'm saying that wrong, but the Vikeli, pretty sure is the one that made it. You guys know the one I'm talking about. It's just got like legendary levels of pre-made on it. Considered one of the best tracks in the entire game, right? Custom track wise. It's just like, and then you go to like, you know, MX Simulator and RF's trying to like basically run no pre-made, like 2019 RF Outdoors at the beginning of the series, no pre-made, and try to rely on a terrain deformation system that's not even one half as good as what Reflex's is, and they're trying to just rely on the terrain deformation to do everything, right? It's just like, dog, that's a joke. That's a joke. What you boys are trying to do with that terrain deformation on MX Simulator right now. I'm just saying. But and this, how much more proof do you need? Like all these amazing tracks, whether it be on MX Simulator or, you know, Reflex. Like, get this shit. So you go on any of those tracks that are made for a road on MX Simulator. When I mean made for a road, I mean like no pre-made. You know what I mean? Small corners, all that kind of bullshit. Flat track and vibe bullshit. Ain't none of them tracks considered like the greatest tracks of MX Simulator or amazing tracks on MX Simulator. I'm just taking a little swim over here, boys. It's all the tracks that have pre-made. It doesn't matter what kind of terrain deformation you're talking about, what kind of a road level you're talking. It doesn't even, like, none of that matters. All of these legendary, amazing tracks in any of these motocross games have a lot of pre-made. A lot of pre-made rut lines, a lot of pre-made cool, like, changing of faces of, like, what you're seeing on this track. A lot of interesting little inside ruts that go into other ruts, changes of, like, almost like you got ruts going up the jump face pre-made wise. You got rutty roller pre-made. You know, that's the kind of shit that makes these legendary tracks. So when RF continues to come out here and make these tracks that are made around the road, It gives me a good old cackle, dog. Like, maybe one day they'll learn their lesson, but man, it's like, dog, there's just like, just so many of these tracks have proved how much you have to have pre-made. You gotta be careful on that son of a bitch. You can overjump that really easy and pop off, right? So either way, oh my god. Got some roughness, dog. There's definitely some skill gap on this track, without a doubt. Look at how cool that rut is, how it just like angles down, right? And you don't have to jump that jump if you mess up that corner. You go over those logs. Really cool. So yeah, environment, I mean, it's not like the most legendary off-track I've ever seen in my life. Pretty standard, but it's really cool to see the contrast of the water, the blue water, going with everything else, right? So I would say environment's probably like a 7, 8 out of 10. Uniqueness, 11 out of 10. Skill gap, you're probably looking at like a medium difficulty on this thing, maybe hard. I don't know. There's definitely some bigger jumps and shit, bigger than you'd normally find on some tracks, but it's not like, and of course there is some roughness and braking bumps and shit like that, but environment's not bad. I said 7 on the environment. It's probably more like an 8, because when you add in all the custom objects and the going through the tunnels, I mean, that all goes into the environment. It's pretty solid environment. You got a fucking jet over here. I mean, so yeah, the uniqueness comes from the on track, right? The uniqueness doesn't really come too much from the off track, but it all kind of goes together in a way too. It's really hard. This is the first time I've ever tried to like separate the little things that I'm rating, right? That's kind of hard to do. But yeah, the water definitely brings this whole track together, makes it feel one of a kind. Really cool, like kind of a sandy vibe to the on track, just that perfect Florida sandy Stewart compound style dirt, you know, kind of what it feels like. You can just hit these corners about as hard as you want to, but there's still that element of skill gap, right? There's still that element of, damn, it's going to be pretty tough to go wide ass open. I think I could have got away with a little bit longer gears on this track. It's got some long straightaways, but yeah, solid ass track here, dude. Really long lap time. You don't feel like you're just, you know, running the lap in 5 seconds, so that's good. But yeah. It's so funny because it's like you would think of all the games out there that would go in there and try to like really have like tracks built around the terrain deformation, or not have any pre-made, or really low pre-made or whatever, thinking the terrain deformation or the erode system is going to be able to make it properly or design it properly or whatever. You would think of all the games that would do that, it would be Reflex, because this game has cushion to the dirt. This game has the best terrain deformation of any motocross game out there. You would think of all the games, these custom Reflex tracks would be built like flat, no rut. You got to have your terrain deformation on, and then it'll make the ruts on the track, like what they try to do with some of those newer custom tracks on MX Simulator. They try to build the whole track around the terrain deformation. It's literally a joke what you boys are doing when you're making a track around terrain deformation in MX Simulator, a game that wasn't even made for terrain deformation. Then you go to Reflex, a game that was made for terrain deformation, has the best terrain deformation system in the whole fucking motocross gaming universe, right? And they still come in here and put tons of pre-made. Big corners, not those rolled off bullshit 2020 RF Supercross corners. Big berms, big daddy fatty lines, skill gappy lines, you know, pre-made ruts going up jump faces, pre-made ruts, roughness, braking bumps, changing of, you know, it's not like a perfectly built track from the pre-made. It's not like perfect jump faces. You know, there's character, dog. That's the biggest problem with the road on MX Simulators. It takes all the character out of the default versions of the track, right? Out of the pre-made versions of the track. Takes every bit of the character out of it, because people just make the tracks flat, smooth, no ruts, no big ruts anyways, no real like roughness, no real braking bumps, because they're expecting the erode to be able to make it. And if you know that game, it has a hard time doing it when you have no pre-made, and it has a hard time doing it anyways, period. But she's like, dog, Jesus Christ. There's not even cushion to MX Simulator. None. You're digging in concrete, you idiots. But, you know, let me hit that log. Split me like a log, dog. These ruts are sick. Gets pretty tight through here. Lots of tight ruts. We like it tight, you know what I'm saying, boys? So either way, yeah, solid ass track, dog. I don't know if I really like reviewed every little element of it, or fun factor. That was another thing I was gonna kind of touch on here. There's definitely some fun factor here, and what I mean by fun factor, like, you can have skill gap without fun factor. You can have a well-built track per se without fun factor. That is possible to have that, so it really is its own separate entity. But look at this shit, dog. That is so unique the way he built that. Like, big ass jump right here. You know, it's got the fun factor. A lot of times you miss out on the fun factor when you don't have big enough jumps, when you don't have big enough ruts to get into, so then it kind of limits how fast you can go, and it just feels like you're wide open everywhere on a flat surface. MX Simulator, that's kind of what you get into. So in a way, the skill gap and the fun factor kind of play together in a way, but that nice freestyle landing ramp there, that's sick, dude. So yeah, fun factor, you're probably looking at like oh my god, let me go take another swim. Fun factor, this track almost kind of reminds me of like the Hydra Island or whatever the fuck. It's kind of like that freestyle motocross. It's like every track in one track, right? Enduro, freestyle. It's just like everything, dog, Whoops, did not mean to do 2 tricks right there. Got my my damn HUD turned off here, so that's a little weird. Let's take a lap in first person. I do have the first person mod, so that'll be a little easier on the eyes than the default. Oh, that's tough to hit in first person. Holy shit. But yeah, either way. Maybe one day they'll get their shit figured out on MX Sim, but man, they have killed 2 years of racing in that game. I swear to God. And all you custom track makers for MX Simulator that are going in here making these totally flat track and no ruts, or those ruts that you can barely even see pre-made, and there's no roughness on your motocross track, and you're like, you need to set your road to 4.8, and then it'll make the track for you. Dude, God, you need some help if you're making custom tracks like that on MX Simulator. I swear to God. There is no reason in hell to go in there and make a custom track that 99% of people are going to be riding on in single player anyways with no road on, literally, and you're going to go in there and build it around it. It's one thing to make a pro track like that, even though I think that's terrible to make them like that, because at least with a pro track, you're going to have people qualifying, 15 plus people, the pro race is going to be a lot more people, so you'll have more ruts, but most people just hop in here and have fun on these custom tracks in single player. So when you go in there and make something that's built around a multiplayer feature, basically, or a multi-rider feature anyways, I know at least with Reflex, you can go in there and have the AI on, and they're not god-awful like MX Simulator, which can add to the terrain deformation even in single player. With MX Simulator, it's not really like that. It's got to be in multiplayer, really, before you start seeing the true erode levels come out of something. So there is no reason to make a erode-specific built track, custom track on MX Sim. There's no reason at all to make one like that in that game. I'm just telling you. Some of the most legendary tracks in any of these motocross games. You can go look in the history books, whether it's Reflex, MX Simulator, whatever, MX Bikes, doesn't matter what the hell it is. Look how much pre-made's on them motherfuckers. Look how big the berms are. Look how many multiple pre-made rut lines in the corners, and pre-made roughness and kickers and jump faces and all that kind of stuff, and jump skill gap and jump fun factor. All of these things that I review these tracks on, literally that you can pinpoint it to the most legendary tracks in any of these games, and those are the things that you can look at that they have. They all have that. All of the legendary tracks these games have that. You're not going to go in there and ride on one of those erode-specific MX Simulator custom tracks or one of these Reflex tracks that are super smooth, no ruts, no big jumps, and call that a legendary, custom motocross track. You're not going to do it. You have to have these things to have that sort of amazing, endless amounts of replayability, right? This track right here is just a shitload of fun all the way around. I mean, it's just fun, dude. Jumps are just big enough. It's not like one of those crazy tracks where you got to have a super specific gearing or you're just going to die everywhere. It's not really like that. One of I call them roller coaster tracks where they're it's just big ass fucking 300-foot jumps over the whole thing. It's not really like that. He's got a cool mix of everything here. He really does. Just a mix of every kind of track design thrown into one track. So keep doing you, Haas. This shit's awesome. Very unique, very one of a kind, very amazing. So overall rating, Damn, dude. I'm giving this shit, I mean, yeah, the off track could have been maybe a little bit more unique and a little bit more, but I'm gonna give this thing like a 9.5 to a 10. I mean, just for the fun factor of it, the uniqueness of it. Like, you gotta give credit where credit's due when it comes to that shit. So yeah, either way, 9.5, 10 overall, something like that. Difficulty, like I said, probably looking at medium to hard, I guess, because some of these bigger jumps are a little tricky, and there is roughness and ruts and shit. It's not just like, smooth. So either way, dog, shout out to you. Amazing track. Really cool. Love to see this kind of shit. This is one of those that'll be remembered forever. The time was put in, you can tell. Just, I love seeing people really think outside the box with these custom tracks, because that's what I've always tried to do with my MX Simulator custom tracks, with the space tracks, dimension tracks, rainforest tracks, crazy ass on track designs, like all the stuff that I've done. It's trying to advance the custom motocross gaming custom track world and community and track designs and pushing the limits and see what you can actually make. So big shout out to you, dog. For that reason alone, yeah, I'm giving this track a 10 out of 10 for sure. Just because he really is pushing the whole thing forward, the whole movement forward. So, and there's no telling what we're going to end up getting if people start doing this more. You know what I mean? I mean, I started the whole space track thing, and then that elevated into other people making space tracks, and then it just goes from there, dog. Like, it really does. So, either way, appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Later, dudes.